Hey everybody, this is David Barnyard Bees. I wanted to show you this technique again, this time on a different level. There was a swarm that landed on the back of this nuke box. And this nuke box has a lot of bees on the inside, but they just happened to land on the back of this box. So what I did, I took two empty frames that I had that wasn't being used, and I just leaned them up against the box, wedged them under this lid here where they couldn't fall, and then put one on the top as well. And those bees, you can see they're climbing right on. You don't have to shake them or anything. We just will give them a little bit of time, and they'll go right onto it. Now right in the center here, I could see a ball where it looked like they were where the queen was, where they was holding the queen, or where she was, her position. And you can see right there, if you can look down the crack between the frame and the box, you can see where the bees are climbing up on the frame. So we'll give them a little bit of time, let them fill these frames out. It was probably a 1.5 pound swarm, maybe 2 pound. But these splits that we did are growing so fast because they was only 2 frames, but they was 2 frames of solid bees plus mostly capped brood. So they're exploding pretty quick, and they probably need to be going in and divided out. If any of you watch Joe May's videos, he just did one on where he pulled out some of the stronger frames of capped brood and put them into the weaker hives, and that's exactly what I need to do here is even them out. Really don't want to do any more splits, but that's what happens here if you don't get in there quick enough. Still working a full-time job, so I don't get to them like I should. So that's what's happening here. So I'm gonna do like Joe does and we've done it too, and it works excellent. You just pull out a frame of capped brood in another hive, put it in the weak hive, shake the bees off of it, introduce it. Those things will hatch out and explode. When you have a frame of capped brood, you have a lot of bees. It's a lot of bees, and they're just multiplying so quick. That's what's happening. And I know they're not being run out by hive beetles because I've been keeping an eye on them, and the hive beetle population is decreased dramatically. They're not hatching out as quickly as they was, and the salt solution that we're putting under the hives, and it needs a little bit more because some of these weeds are pretty resilient to growing right back. And a lot of people, it's kind of funny, they talked about salt and earth and how nothing will ever grow again. Well, look, right there is proof. See, I haven't sprayed it in a while. Well, it grows back. I don't know where they get that at, but I have a pool up there that runs off of nothing but salt water. We backwash it, and it doesn't kill the grass. It weakens the grass. That's why we add the vinegar to it, because the vinegar actually helps kill it. So it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since I put in a solution on it, so it needs it again. But to get back to this, that's what we're doing here. We're just waiting on these. I gotta watch. There's a big old fire ant nest right there. I'll just let all these bees climb up on this frame, and we'll put them in a nuke and probably go through and look for one of these strong hives and pull out a frame of capped brood, stick it in there with it, boost it up. Don't let anybody tell you that a swarm in September or October, whenever, is no good. It's no good if you don't know what to do with it. And that's anybody that tells you that, it's just simply they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to manage it. All you gotta do is, now I can understand if you only have a couple hives, the resources are hard to get. I can understand that. But if you have more than 3 or 4 hives, you can always pull out a frame of capped brood and add with this right here. We'll have these bees, which will fill out these 2 frames pretty much. I'll pull out a frame of capped brood, stick it in there, and you can actually, if you want to keep the bees and even make it stronger, put that queen in a cage. Put her in a cage, take her in the house, and combine the bees, and then bring her back the next day. Then they'll be queenless. Install her in the hive, let her sit there for a couple of days, and then release her. Or the low risk thing to do would be just to shake the bees off and just have that frame of capped brood. That's how you do a swarm. That's how you manage a swarm that's late in the year. Like I said, don't listen to the people that tells you they're not worth a crap after a certain time. You just gotta, I've done this for years, I know how it works, and it works very well. You gotta manage them, you gotta help them out a little bit. But that's what we got going on here. I'm gonna put it on pause and give it a little bit of time so don't draw out the video real long. And we'll come back here in a few minutes after the bees get on there and see if we can find the queen. Okay, I gave them a little bit of time, and what I did, I come over to this hive here, and it's got I looked, I didn't see the queen on the frame. So what I'll do, I'll make me some room here real quick. And I'll try to do this one-handed. New beekeepers, if they don't have a smoker, best thing to do is use your breath and blow on it. Always keep this wax off the side, this burr comb. That's a sure queen killer right there if you put your frame down or pull it up. That'll kill them for sure. It'll roll them real easy. So what I found a frame here. It don't have a lot of capped brood, but it's got a little bit of young brood on it. A little bit more on this side. I don't see the queen. So what I'll do, I'm gonna do this one-handed, so maybe a little shaky. Just gonna shake the bees in there. Okay. Got the majority of them off. So what I'll do now, I got a box picked out and I'm gonna put those bees in. So I'm gonna come over, pick this frame up, examine it, look at it. See if I can see the queen. I don't see her yet on this frame. Now it's not guaranteed I will find her because she may be buried in this mass of bees. I don't see her on this frame, but regardless, even if they don't, we'll just re-queen it. And this frame here, see, it's still got a lot of bees right there, but it's filled that little frame up pretty good. So I'll check this one out, make sure. Oops, that wasn't planned. This is what happens when you do this one-handed. So this will be interesting now. Oh well, it wouldn't be video making if you didn't make a mistake every once in a while, would it? We'll watch these bees here. They may fly right in that hive that I just set the other bees in. We'll watch and see. Look, a lot of them are accumulating right back on this frame here. So I try to do this one-handed. I know everybody says I need a tripod, but the only thing about the tripod is it's fixed, and I like to move and show different parts of the hive, and you just can't do that with a tripod. I've tried it. and it's just hard to do. And I rarely drop a frame, and that was just one of those times I did. So look how those bees are, see, they're even trying to accumulate on that old frame right there, but most of them are going right there. So you can see pretty good sized bundle right here, and more than likely that queen's right in that bundle. So we'll set that frame on there, that yellow jacket. Sometimes you can just scrape them off. We'll get on that. If we can get them thinned down. Now you can, I know, people's gonna say, why didn't you just put the box up to it? Well, it's not that I didn't know to, it's just sometimes I like to try different things and experiment and see how things work out. You know, just like the frame in the tree. This will work. See how quick they're getting on the frame already. Some of those bees will come back over here. Some of them are actually ended up right in this hive. So let's shake him in there. What I'll do, I'll let them see how look how some of the bees are fanning. So in presence of a queen, they'll fan. So there's probably that queen's right there in that bundle right there. Look how they've just that little short period right there, and probably a real good chance she's right there in that cluster, more than likely. Let's see if I can see that. I may have to, okay, I see a queen right there. There actually might be more than one. That's why I was telling you, when you see a swarm, there's not always just one queen. And I may be able to prove that to you right here, possibly, to make this video a little bit more interesting. Let's see. I can find a spot to lean this up against to give me a free hand. There's definitely a queen in this ball. I've seen this too many times. I know the way they're acting. There is, and there may be one right beside it as well. Cause I seen the ball, and then I seen a queen right beside it, moving. So I moved those out of the way, see if I can see that. I don't see her now, but I can guarantee there's one right here in this ball, more than likely. I've seen one for sure. Let's see, let me get up here in the sunlight where I can see a little bit. Well, well, she wasn't on there, was she? Okay, let me pick this frame up because I know there is one on there for sure because I saw her moving. Some people playing back this video probably spot her before I do. That happens sometimes. Well, I can promise you I saw her. And maybe when I reached down and grabbed that cluster, she jumped off. That's possible. because anytime there's a cluster like that, there's always a queen underneath of it. I'm just not seeing her. Let's see if maybe she walked around the other side. Okay, I'm not seeing her. Let me go. Let me put this back over here and see if these bees will jump back on that frame. See, they're still in kind of a swarm mode, so sometimes you think you have them and you don't. That happens. Well, this may take a little bit longer than I thought. Let me put this on pause again and try to cut off some time on the video. Okay. Things don't always go as planned. That's the thing with beekeeping. You know, you can pretend that you know things are going to go a certain way. It just doesn't work that way. And if it doesn't work perfectly, I'll tell you it doesn't work perfectly. I won't lie to you. I won't fib to you and say, oh, it worked out fine. The video ended. Okay, here's what happened. Now, that works most of the time with that frame. They was climbing on it good. And probably my mistake of dropping the frame over there, it probably got them back in swarm mode, which was my mistake. And so what I did, I put the frame, they remember they was right here on this box. So what I did, I leaned those frames up there to congregate on there. Well, they start on there, but they become airborne, so they went back in the air. So what I did, I had my nuke box sitting right here. So I had some bees in it and those two empty frames. So what I did, I just moved the whole box over here. And what I need to do here at this bottom box, just to assure a little bit of protection for them, is close it up for the time being. That's what makes it nice about these wire entrance reducers. And I got a video coming up how I'm going to secure those with wood in behind them for the winter. And so what I'll do, I'll close that bottom one up to keep the bees going into that top hive. It looks like they're pretty much congregating up on the top now. I got the lid propped open for them, so they'll go in there. Definitely saw a queen over there, and by the time I grabbed that cluster, I think she jumped off and went airborne. And like I said, things always don't work out the way they're supposed to all the time. So keep that in mind. You always got to have a second plan. So that's what I did, and it seems like it's working pretty good now. I moved the whole box over here, and I had a pretty good idea they'd go right in this box. So that's what we got here. This wasn't a planned out video. This is something I saw I thought people would like to watch, and it's just kind of interesting to some people to see how these bees pretend, how they act. You learn from them. Even watching the video, you can watch and see their reaction and how they react to certain situations, like drop the frame, and I think that started it off, and they started going airborne, and so I had to change my plan, and that's what I did. So they're going in this box right now. I'll put it on pause again. I know this video's drawn out. I didn't plan on it, but it just sometimes it works out that way. And I'll put it on pause, and we'll give them a couple minutes here and let them settle down. Okay, right there goes the queen. I don't think I got her quick enough on camera, but she's a little light colored queen. And she walked right in the box. I spotted her. She's like one of those blonde looking queens. Now look at them. As soon as she went in there, look at their reaction. Watch them fan. Look at them up on top. She went in there, and they're signaling that she's in there. And those bees now will start going in there really quick. Now what you can do too, a little trick that you can do is put you a drop of lemongrass oil into your nuke, and before the queen gets in there, it'll trick the bees in thinking that she is already in there. So that helps out a lot. I do that a lot of times, is put just a little drop on the inside, and maybe a tiny drop at the entrance, and just a little bit on the inside. And I just seen the one queen, but 100% sure I saw her. A little light colored blonde looking, like almost like albino. I see those every now and then. Real pretty queens, real light color. So they're settling in that box now. I closed this one up on the bottom just for a little bit, and I've opened it back up. The workers was bringing in piles of pollen, and this panicking this on the outside of the landing board trying to get in their hive, and they couldn't. Now this will work fine for now until they settle down, and then I'll move them off of this location where they're at, because they are sitting on top of another nuke, and I'll keep an eye on them, make sure they do okay. So that's about it. I turned a mistake into a success. Nothing wrong with making mistakes. Just learn how to fix the problem once you do make a mistake. And that works really well, but I think I got them in the back into a swarm mode so fast by dropping that frame and then missing that queen over there and I think when I grabbed that little cluster, the queen flew out, because I never did see her in there, and because they was clustered on this box like that, and I was sure she was right there, and she climbed up on that frame, and I did see her on the frame over there, and then seen that little ball, so I was pretty sure she was right in that little cluster, but she's in there now for sure. So the bees are settling down. I'll let them give them a few minutes. I'll close that lid up, and we'll find another location. I'll put a feeder on it, get some sugar into them. The frame that I put in had a little bit of brood, pollen, honey. So, and bees in swarm mode aren't hungry anyway, because they gorge yourself with honey right before they leave the hive. So we're good there. So, well, it turned out, I guess, a good video after all. As you can see, they're all in there. They're settling down. Just as soon as she walked in there, their demeanor changed that quick. She was probably still in the air, and then as soon as she landed, they started fanning her wings, and the traffic in the air settled down really fast. So she's in there, and that's it. And please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching Barnyard Bees.